In this video, we'll break down how BoosterBot works, how it reads the news, how it perceives global events, how it analyzes charts, and of course, how it generates signals. And after watching this video, you'll be able to confidently earn money with our trading robot, which, by the way, you can find right now via the link in the description. So get comfortable and let's get started. I'll show you how to work with BoosterBot and how to make money with it. The very first step, of course, is choosing a currency pair. Let's start by picking a currency pair. For example, the British pound to the US dollar. Let's ask BoosterBot where the price is headed, and then we'll break down how it actually sees the chart and how it's set up. I'm getting a sell signal. Right from here, I open a sell trade for 1 minute. So, where does BoosterBot actually start its analysis? It starts with analyzing the news background and volatility. For that, we have the Forex Factory website, where we can see when and where news is released. So, if BoosterBot sees that the news is marked yellow, it means it doesn't affect the price. So, yellow news doesn't affect the price. If the news is red or orange, it can already influence the price and, accordingly, create a heightened news background. That's why BoosterBot also takes this into account and includes it in its analysis. So, if there is a news background, the analysis starts with that first. If there is no news background, then other tools come into play, such as indicators and technical analysis. We'll go over this next. For example, right now this is a trade on the British pound to US dollar. First of all, it's bringing me almost $1,400 in profit. And let's see if there was any news about the pound or the dollar. We can see that there are only minor news items regarding the British pound. In other words, they don't affect the news background in any way. There will be news about the dollar later, so they might have had a slight impact. Although here we see that it's Trump's speech. So right now, they don't have any effect. Basically, the market is just getting ready for the speech. Accordingly, there was no news background at all. So, most likely, the bot then analyzed global news. I think there was nothing here either. We can see that there are some separate news items about Forex, right? Things that affect, for example, gold, things that influence our currency pairs, like the euro, the dollar, the Swiss franc, and, accordingly, all our currencies. Most likely, there was no news here either. So, I assumed that BoosterBot was just analyzing volatility and simply looking at the chart. So, we can see that if we look at the 1 minute chart, our volumes are normal and our horizontal volumes are also within the normal range. In other words, we had a straightforward technical analysis and BoosterBot gave me a sell signal for the 1 minute time frame. And as you can see, I actually made a pretty good profit here. So, we probably reached this level right here. We can mark it right here. So, the price bounced off and we, in turn, captured this entire downward move. This was a very basic trade, with no news and no heightened volatility. So, this was just a straightforward technical analysis. And if we analyze this trade further, we can see that there was a strong upward movement. As I mentioned, the price reached this level. Why is this considered a level? First of all, we can see several touches that lined up perfectly along this line. And, accordingly, this level didn't let the price go any higher. So, the price came here, we got a sell signal, and entered for 1 minute. Now, we've had a breakout. Most likely, we've accumulated enough volume to break through this level. But the price could still bounce off this level. But that's a different story. Yes, we can see right now that the volume is increasing, so we have enough strength to break through this horizontal level. So right now, BoosterBot has performed an analysis based specifically on classic technical analysis, on volume, and, accordingly, on all the tools. There haven't been any news events. There haven't been any global events either. So, all day today, if there are no global events, BoosterBot will operate and analyze strictly using standard technical analysis. By the way, you can activate this bot right now using the link in the description. All you need to do is go to the description and find the link to BoosterBot. I'll also include the link in the pinned comment. Activate this bot, and you can start receiving the same high-quality signals. This bot is available to our entire community, so join us and, accordingly, earn with BoosterBot. Here we're looking at the euro-dollar pair. Since there haven't been any news events affecting the euro, although recently there were some euro-related news that could have impacted the price. So, most likely, we'll just see an increased level of volatility here. Let's select the euro-dollar pair. We can see that the volumes are actually a bit choppy. That is, sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low. So let's ask BoosterBot for a signal on this currency pair. I'm curious to see what it will say. I'm switching to the platform, going to BoosterBot, selecting the euro-dollar currency pair, and setting the trade time to 1 minute. So, with good volumes, you can easily trade for 1 minute. I get a sell signal, and let's try to analyze what actually happened here. We can observe a strong downward movement on this currency pair, first of all. We can really see that. There are some decent volumes right here. And accordingly, most likely the price has reached this level. We had some accumulation here, and we can even see it. Let's adjust it a bit and we can see that this is really where all our horizontal volume started. Most likely, the price came here and is now going to bounce off like this. So basically, this is a straightforward trade that you can analyze on your own. But with BoosterBot, it's much easier to do. The most important thing is that with this bot, you can actually learn trading, right? Besides just trading with it, you can also do some preliminary analysis and try to break down trades. Why does BoosterBot give a signal in one situation or another? For example, like right now, for a sell. Yeah, at first glance, if you look at it through the eyes of a beginner, it seems like we have a good upward movement here, but BoosterBot is giving us a sell signal. Then we start analyzing together, and we see that there was accumulation here, that there was a large horizontal volume, and as a result, the price just bounced off this area. And accordingly, we didn't have enough large volumes to break through this whole zone, since the horizontal volume was very high. So, here's how I suggest you work with BoosterBot. You activate it. Just a reminder, the link is in the description. Then you do a preliminary analysis, and after that, you ask BoosterBot where the price is going to go. Let's do exactly this kind of analysis and see if it matches with BoosterBot or not. I'm choosing the euro to Swiss franc currency pair. There's a pretty unusual movement here, so let's take a look at what's been happening. We've had a great upward movement here. All the volumes are concentrated in one zone. Right here. So, if we take a look, we haven't had any corrections for a long time. In other words, here's our last impulse, and as we can see, there really haven't been any corrections in the overall movement. If we look at the local movement, here are the impulses, and again, there are no corrections at all. So, most likely, we don't have enough volume right here to keep moving further. That's why I'm betting that the price will go down within 1 to 5 minutes. Let's ask BoosterBot about the euro to Swiss franc. Where does it think the price will go? I'm choosing 1 minute. Remember, my forecast is for a sell. Let's see what BoosterBot gives us, and BoosterBot is giving a buy signal. Let's listen to the bot and open a buy trade. Why did it give me a buy signal? Honestly, I don't really get it. But if the volumes go up right now, then the price really could move upward. And most likely, all the analysis I did, that the price would go down, won't be relevant if the volumes increase a lot. It's actually an interesting situation, so let's watch and see what BoosterBot says. Will its prediction turn out to be right, or will I be right after all? And as you can see, the trade closes in profit. That means my analysis was wrong, and BoosterBot was right this time. It spotted the increased volumes, while I couldn't catch them in the moment. And, accordingly, I was sure that the price would go lower, at least into this area. In the bigger picture, heading this way. Yes, maybe the price really will come here after some time, but for now, with the increased volumes, it's breaking higher. So, as you can see, sometimes you can check your analysis with the help of a machine. The win rate of this bot is over 80% positive trades. So you can confidently activate it right now using the link in the description and, accordingly, start earning and checking your analysis together. So go ahead, activate this bot, and start making money with it. If there's a lot of news activity, it will warn you. You can also do this yourself. It really does make trading easier, but with the bot, you don't need to check a bunch of websites or do such heavy analysis. Especially since, as you can see, it's easy to make a mistake because of just one factor, which we had right here. BoosterBot noticed this and, accordingly, gave me the correct signal. I'll leave links in the description. That's it, goodbye, see you next video.